Fellas, in today's video, we are looking at Emma Frost in this Marvel Rivals guide. Emma Frost is a 3-star difficulty, brand new Vanguard in Season 2, and I think that might be one of the best Vanguards yet to date, purely for the range. Now, when you play Emma, she is going to be a very frontline tank. However, if you do have another Vanguard who can be more frontline, she is very excellent as a off tank, someone in the middle who can deal damage from afar, pull in enemies, as well as protect the backline from flankers and divers. She has a fantastic shield similar to Magneto. She is a good brawler similar to almost like Hulk in that regard, and she can displace enemies very similar to Thor. A very fantastic Vanguard. So let's get into it and see how to play her well. By starting off looking at her cosmetic, we have her basic form, which does look very similar to the Fantastic Four coloring. I do like it a lot. We have the alternate coloring, which is okay. And then we have the X Revolution. This is going to be for a certain set of players. When you see someone use this, you will know exactly who that type of player is. And while we are here, I do recommend you look at the lore. You hit Forged in Hellfire. You hit that and you complete part of an achievement. Starting off with their basic attack, underneath you see this little bar fill up. The higher that is, the more damage you do. This means the higher the number, it does about 120 damage per second, and the lower number does about 70. This is going to absolutely melt Vanguard, as you can see right there. She does have a 70 charge, so she does have to reload, but it's not that long to do so. My favorite thing about it is that you do have to aim. This is not like Cloak and Dagger, you do have to aim. It is now something that you can use to attack the flyers in the air, where a lot of the Vanguard do falter. After that, the most important thing is her diamond form. With the shift ability, you can see down here, this will switch her to her diamond form. You take 30% less damage, which is fantastic in of itself. This turns her into a melee hero. Your basic attack, you now do a bunch of punches, which are very strong, and that also combines with her E ability. In your diamond form, you will dash forward and pick up an enemy. You do have to aim a little bit to the right, as it's a third-person Marvel Rivals game. So you aim a little bit to the right, you'll pick someone up, throw them down behind you while dealing damage. This will displace them, allowing for your team, the back line, the central line, to deal damage and kill them. If you happen to do that with the Vanguard or someone who has an easier time getting away, that's where her secondary ability comes in, called Crystal Kick. This allows you to kick that enemy. If they hit a wall, it does even more damage, but you throw them behind you and then you kick them, and this will throw them away from their team into your team, allowing you to deal damage. Even if they do have an ultimate available, your team should be able to get that elimination before they get it off proper. Her other E ability in her regular form is Psychic Spear. This pulls a spear out of an enemy, which you can deal damage, or your team can deal damage to, dealing damage to the target as well. This does a ton of damage. Right here, it's double stacking, so you can shoot the spear as well as the target behind it, but just the spear itself is 25% of the target's health. So whether someone is trying to run away, you can use this, pull a spear out of them, allowing you to deal 25% of their health, or in big fights, if you have a DPS up with you in the front line, they can also attack that spear to get in some very easy quick damage. This is going to be great when dealing with flanker or dive characters like Black Panther. You pull out the spear, this will allow you to get in some quick and easy damage, pushing them away because they had to go get more health. I cannot understate to you how good this ability will be. For her secondary ability, this creates a big shield that blocks projectiles, kind of similar to Magneto's. It does have 500 health, which is somewhat similar to Invisible Woman, but it does not heal anyone. And it's left at that location. So you can use this to put a shield behind an enemy to prevent them from being healed. Or if your team is being dashed on or you displace someone, this can be good to block projectiles. Plus it's a shield overall, which is very fantastic. And then she does have a team up with Magneto, Psylocke, where when they activate it, they do look similar to their clone. So you have somewhat of a chance to kind of get away if you play them. But this allows them to have basically a clone that also attacks and deals damage. These are going to be two great team ups as it pretty much gives your team a bonus character. However, they cannot use their ultimates together. The main Magneto can use his ultimate. The side character will just do basic attack. Topping off with her ultimate ability, importantly, you can see 3 bars. For every second this ultimate is used, the enemy gets 10 stacks. If they get out of range, which is about an 80-degree angle, if they get out of range, they lose 10 stacks. Once they hit 15, they will be pulled in while you continuously do damage. This is going to be a great ability teamed up with other heroes. So if you have someone like Moon Knight who can use his Ankh and hit everyone, or his ultimate, same thing with Namor, it brings everyone in. This will be a quick ultimate to get a lot of kills in when paired up. Otherwise, even just by itself, it's still fairly strong, but there's so much opportunity and potential that you can use with this. I'm very, very much looking forward to see what people do. And now that's the gist of her abilities. From what I can tell, there's not much combos that are going to be used here. With her basic attack, the one that you use often, occasionally you'll pull out the Psychic Spear to get in some more damage. Actually, that is a good combo. You should use that very often when you do have it available. But it's also good for those trying to get away. But there's not a lot of combo potential besides that. And then with her diamond form, you have her basic punches, the throw down behind you and kick. All that is going to be one basic combo. Although something that you can do is use the Psychic Spear to pull out the spear from the enemy, switch to your diamond form, and then punch it that way. But for the most part, you can just shoot it with your pulse attack and it'll do the same thing. Anyways, that's the gist of her abilities. Let's get into a game to see her in action. So Emma Frost is going to be what I think is the best frontline Vanguard there is at the moment. She has a big shield that can block projectiles. It does have a little bit of cooldown once destroyed, but even with Magneto, he does have a cooldown on his shield, so it's not that bad. She has decent range on her basic attack in her regular form. This will allow you to deal with flyers, and then when the other team does get in close, she can switch to her diamond form, allowing you to deal with the front line and kick them back to your team to deal damage. Now, if you have spent the last 2 seasons being a solo Vanguard, Emma Frost is going to be someone that is very nice for you to play for 2 reasons. One, when you need to run back to your team because they didn't follow up with you, you can throw down a shield to give yourself some decent space while you try to get back to your team who is half a block away. Alternately, you're able to pick up an enemy, throw them behind you, and kick them towards your team. Hopefully, they'll be able to get that kill in. I know it sounds like I'm salty, but when you do play Vanguard in Marvel Rivals at this moment, especially in quick play or honestly well into the metal ranks, you are going to be dealing with your team that sometimes doesn't go up with you. Keep that in mind. Be sure to keep an eye on where your team is. Learn how to play Vanguards. Take some time in quick play first before hopping into ranked with Emma Frost, especially if you have not done a Vanguard role before, because it'll be surprising on how your team plays. So with Emma, primarily what you're going to be using is your basic attack, the telepathic pulse. The more consistent damage you hit with it, the more damage you will do per hit. It's very nice and very effective for weakening the enemy tanks, and it actually can be used somewhat easy to take out the enemy DPS. Or strategists if you can hit them. This also gives you a character who can hit somewhat medium height flyers. Although in one of the games that I played, there was an Iron Man that I just was not able to get. Because of the range on this allows you to create more space or to take space to push an objective or take an objective, which is going to be your main role. While you are pushing up, you're able to use the Psychic Spear. This will allow you to take a spear from an enemy that you and your team can damage to get in a good chunk of damage onto the enemy team as you advance or while you try to hold space. Plus, you are able to shoot through it into the enemy team as well, basically doing double the damage. This is going to be fantastic in case you're being dived on, your team is being dived on. You're able to create a stationary point that your team can shoot to try to get a kill, or if someone is low health and trying to get away, like a Venom for example. This I think is going to be devastating to Venom players, because once they pop their E and they have to try to get away, you can throw down this spear, take their soul basically, and then as their overshield depletes, you're able to shoot this crystal and get in a kill. After that, you can use your shield to block projectiles. It's a very fantastic shield. I like how it works so far. The fact that you do not need to be right beside the shield so that the melee players can't just punch you through it, I think is going to be the biggest positive thing. And then when your team does get in close to the enemy team, you can switch to your diamond form to, and a very good key point here, deal with Wolverines. Because you're able to pick them up and kick them away, that is devastating to them. When you play Vanguard, Wolverine is a very scary character to face, so having some sort of defense to that is a nice comfort. This doesn't mean he won't shred you, but it gives you a little bit of a grace to deal with them. And then of course, you can pick up other characters, throw them behind you, kick them to your team to basically create one less character that you have to fight as you try to move your team forward or to hold a line. And then with her ultimate ability, this is going to be fantastic for choke points as well as for maps like Domination or times when the enemy team is just all clustered together. It's very quick to add up the stacks, which once they hit 15, this will pull in the enemy team towards you. So as you pull in the enemy team, this will allow your team to have an easier time hitting them. I think Emma Frost and Moon Knight are going to be a very good combo this season, especially with their ultimates, because Emma Frost can pull in everyone close together, while Moon Knight either just chucks in an Ankh or his blaze to deal massive damage, or uses his ultimate and does a massive area of effect damage to everyone. So just to quickly recap, if you have not played a lot of Vanguard before, Emma Frost is a very good choice, but you will need to take some time to actually learn how to play the Vanguard role over Emma Frost. Emma Frost I think is very easy to learn, very easy to use, but to learn how to play an actual Vanguard, that is a different matter of itself. Take some time, play some matches, and have fun. And that's a wrap on this Emma Frost Marvel Rivals guide. Tell me, do you have any tips of your own you think other people should know? Leave it in the comments below. And hey, hit that like button if you're still watching, subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next one.